Good morning BookTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jazz and today I have a very exciting TBR for you. I don't know what that was, sorry. So today I am telling you my February TBR for the Black Lit Challenge, which is hosted by Seiji over at the Artisan Geek. If you haven't heard of the challenge, it's throughout the whole month of February, so from the 1st to the 29th. Yes, the 1st to the 29th of February, and there are 4 challenges. Oh, there's a 5th bonus one, but there's 4 main challenges, and it's all about reading Black literature and Black stories. As I was trying to figure out my TBR, Jessie from Bow Ties and Books announced the Blackathon, and I was trying to tie in my TBR that I'd compiled for the Black Lit Challenge with the Blackathon, but it wasn't really working, so I'm just going to do the Black Lit Challenge, but I thought I'd shout out the Blackathon too, and I might take part in bits because they have challenges going on over Instagram. They've got photo challenges, they're doing watch-alongs on Twitter for films, and then there's some YouTube challenges too, and you can like pick a team, so it looks incredible. Definitely go and check that out below, but for now I'm going to be focusing on the Black Lit Challenge hosted by Seiji. Okay, so firstly, before even diving into the challenges, I have to talk about Seiji's Black Literature Compendium that she has compiled. It is so thorough. Oh my god, it's like pages and pages and pages of a Google document of just suggestions and recommendations, and it's all organised into like genre and then like sub-genre within the genre. And like books will appear in multiple places depending on the genre, and it's just like the most thorough thing I've ever seen, and it's such a good resource. Like, I've got it bookmarked now, and I'm definitely going to be going back there in the future to like find new books and widen my reading. And it's just so useful, like if you're thinking like, oh, I kind of like a book with a black main character but it's actually focusing on LGBT themes and it's also YA, she got ya. So definitely go and check that out, I'll link it below. Honestly, it's just like an amazing resource regardless of whether you're using it in February or not, so thank you so much to Seiji for compiling that. Onto the challenges. Okay, so the first challenge is to read a book written before the 21st century, and for that one I have gone with Beloved by Toni Morrison. I read one Toni Morrison book in uni, and that was The Bluest Eye, and I absolutely loved it. It was so phenomenal but heartbreaking and emotional and captivating at the same time, and it was so beautifully written. I've always wanted to read another of her books after, and I never have, so this is a very good excuse to read Beloved, which I've heard many great things about. I don't know too much about it. I know that it's about a freed slave, but she doesn't feel free, and she moves to Ohio, and the book is named after her daughter who passed away, and on the gravestone it was etched Beloved. That's the extent to I know about it, but I'm really intrigued how it's going to dive into identity and family relationships and what it means to be a mother and a slave, and I just think it's going to be phenomenal. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to hear Sethi's story. So that is the first book for the first challenge. Okay, the second challenge is to read a book with a black person on the cover, and for that I have gone for With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I constantly talk about Elizabeth Acevedo, having not read any of her books, which makes me very angry. I need to get on it. So this is me getting on it. With the Fire on High just sounds exactly like my kind of thing. So the main character, Emily, has a 2-year-old, I believe, a 2-year-old daughter, and she's only 17, so she's a teen mum. It's about her relationship with her daughter, but it's also about her passion for cooking and the fact that she really wants to be a chef. Those are the only 2 main, like, you know, plot points that I know about, but that just sounds like entirely my cup of tea. I'm so excited to dive in to my very first Elizabeth Acevedo book, and how it deals with like identity and that passion for cooking. Like, oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then I will hopefully get on to the Poet X, and this year she has a book coming out called Clap When You Land, and it also looks phenomenal, so I'm like assuming I will love her writing style, because you know when you just know. I just know, you know? So book number 3, challenge number 3, is to read a book with a genre outside of your comfort zone, and for that I have gone with Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I've picked this one for this challenge because it's historical fiction. I don't really read historical fiction, so that kind of works. Although, as I've been reading more historical fiction, I've actually realised I really enjoy it. So I'm picking this one anyway because it's you know, it works. This is set just before and then during the Nigerian Civil War. I don't know anything about the Nigerian Civil War, so I'm really intrigued to learn about it. And it has 3 narrators, and it's kind of about how their lives intersect. I think it's narrated by the 3 different... It says it's about 3 different characters. I assumed it was triple... What is that called? Triple narrated. I don't know. I have been meaning to read an Adichie book, and I've got this one, and then I also got Purple Hibiscus for Christmas. So I just figured I'd start with this one and begin to make my way through her backlist. So that is for challenge number 3. The final challenge is to read a book with an author that's not from the US or the UK, and for that I have chosen Welcome to Lagos by Chimamanda Ngozi. Firstly, that challenge is so up my street right now. I am focusing, one of my main goals for this year is to focus on reading books and authors that are not from the UK or the US, and books that aren't set in the UK or the US. So I actually had this one on my list already, and I got it for Christmas and super psyched to get to it. This is set in Nigeria, again actually, Lagos. And I'll read the back for you because I think it gives a good overview, and that, to be honest, is all I know about it. 5 runaways ride the bus from Bayelsa to a better life in a megacity. They are unlikely allies: a private, a housewife, an officer, a militant, and a young girl. They share a need for escape and a dream for the future. Oh, so good. I read The Spider King's Daughter by Chimamanda Ngozi, and I absolutely loved it. I loved her writing style. I flew through that book. I loved the different perspective we got. So good. So I'm buzzing to get to this one. It's interesting, I've actually been reading a lot of Nigerian fiction lately. I mean, I will be reading Welcome to Lagos and Half of a Yellow Sun. I recently just read My Sister the Serial Killer and The Spider King's Daughter, as I said. I think that's also really important to just remember when thinking about reading diversely across the globe, not to read just one book and kind of like check that country off as if you've read that country because you've read one book from that country. Obviously there are so many different stories from a country. Like, you would never hear someone saying they've read the UK because they've read one book by the UK that's set in the UK. Like, it's so important to kind of hold yourself accountable and to read diversely across the globe. And obviously there are loads of countries, so that's like, there's lots to do, but also it is important to spend time and focus and read diversely in a country, and get lots of different perspectives from that country, kind of give you a more well-rounded perspective as what it is like to live in that country. So yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I've had an idea to kind of tie in my international reads. You'll hear about it at some point soon, but I'm just trying to make sure I really hold myself accountable. I don't want to be that person that's like, tick, I've read Nigeria because I've read one book from Nigeria. Like, it like makes me squirm and like makes me very uncomfortable. So I'm working that out, but yeah, sorry, that was a complete sidetrack. But that is the 4 books. There was also a bonus 5th challenge, and that was to read a book recommended by Ina. I will link this down below because it was just absolutely phenomenal. It was so much fun. Seiji set up this whole choose your own adventure, pick a book type thing on YouTube, obviously on YouTube. And so I'll link the first video down below, but it has like, you know, a 1-minute video and you like choose your path and it takes you to another video and then you like answer the question and you choose your next path, and it is just so much fun. Like, I could see how much work had gone into it and it was just incredible and just so inspiring and makes me so excited to just, I don't know, take part in this challenge. So my path, it took me down like a horror, dark, mysterious kind of like ooh path. And the book chosen for me was The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval. I've never heard of this book before, which is like always very exciting to discover a new book. All I know about it, I had a little look on Goodreads at like the synopsis. It is about a man who delivers like a mysterious, mystical book to a sorceress in the middle of Queens in New York. That's all I know. It sounds weirdly like, I don't know why I keep doing this, but it sounds like weirdly fantastical and like dark and creepy and like magical elements and yeah, I'm super excited to read it. I'm currently on a book buying ban, so I'm fingers crossing that my library has it. I'm actually going to go today and see if it does have it. So fingers crossed for that one. But yeah, that is it. Definitely go and check out that last challenge. I mean, I think you should all take part in this challenge anyway, but if you don't have time, or even if you can just take part in one challenge, or, you know, definitely go and do that bonus challenge, because it was just so much fun and so creative and just makes me so glad again to be a part of this community. Yay! And that is my TBR. Are you taking part in the Black Lit Challenge? Let me know, and link it if you have a TBR video, link it below and I'll go and watch it. Or just let me know what books you would read for these challenges. That's always interesting, and I love hearing that kind of thing, because then I can add all of those books to my TBR. So definitely do that, and definitely take part if you can. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love hearing that you're here. It's always really nice when I get comments, and I just love having a chat with people in the comments. So yeah, let me know that you're here, and I will see you in a new video. Bye!